On a seemingly ordinary day, an extraordinary incident unfolded that would spark outrage and conversations about race and authority. A black female general, celebrated for her leadership and dedication to the military, found herself in an alarming situation when she was unjustly handcuffed by police officers. This shocking encounter not only raised questions about the treatment of people of color in law enforcement, but also highlighted the struggles faced by those in powerful positions. As the general went about her day, she was confronted by officers who failed to recognize her rank and stature. Instead of being met with respect for her service, she experienced a stark reminder of racial biases that still exist within society. The handcuffing was not just a physical restraint. It symbolized a deeper issue that many have faced: the prejudices rooted in systemic racism. The incident quickly gained attention, igniting discussions about racial profiling and accountability. What happened next would reveal how such situations are often swept under the rug, but can also lead to significant change. The general's determination to take action would challenge the status quo and force authorities to confront their own shortcomings regarding race and justice. The general at the center of this controversy is not just a figure in uniform. She is a trailblazer in her field. With a distinguished career spanning over 2 decades, she has held various leadership positions and earned numerous commendations for her bravery and commitment to service. Growing up in a community where opportunities were limited, she fought hard to pursue her dreams and break barriers for future generations. As one of the first women of color to achieve the rank of general, her accomplishments serve as an inspiration to many. She has dedicated her life to uplifting others and advocating for equality within the military and beyond. Her educational background is impressive, with degrees from prestigious institutions that shaped her skills as a leader. Despite her high rank, the incident exposed a harsh reality. Even those who have attained significant success can still face discrimination. The general's experience serves as a reminder that no one is immune to the issues of racial bias. This backdrop of her life and career adds weight to the incident, making her call for accountability all the more powerful. As she prepares to confront the fallout from this shocking encounter, her courage continues to inspire change. On that fateful day, the general was attending a community event meant to bridge gaps between local law enforcement and the military. It was a gathering intended to promote unity, but the atmosphere quickly shifted when police officers approached her. Misunderstanding her presence, they accused her of being involved in a disturbance. Rather than recognizing her as a respected leader, they treated her with suspicion. In an escalating situation, officers handcuffed the general without verifying her identity or rank. The shock of being restrained in such a humiliating manner was overwhelming, especially for someone who had dedicated her life to serving her country. Bystanders were taken aback, witnessing a scene that contradicted everything they believed about respect and authority. Feeling both angered and bewildered, the general remained composed while being handcuffed. Her experience illuminated the stark reality faced by many people of color, regardless of their accomplishments. As she was finally released after presenting identification, the gravity of the encounter settled in. This was not just an isolated incident, but a reflection of systemic issues that needed addressing. This moment propelled her towards taking decisive action against the injustice she faced that day. As the incident unfolded, the immediate reactions were a mix of shock and disbelief. Bystanders who witnessed the encounter were quick to express their outrage, some shouting for the officers to stop and others recording the event on their phones. Many of them knew who the general was and could not understand how such a respected figure could be treated in such a degrading manner. There was an atmosphere of discontent as people began to gather around, questioning the officer's actions. The general's calm demeanor in the face of humiliation did not go unnoticed. Witnesses admired her strength and composure. Some noted that it was a clear example of how systemic racism affects individuals regardless of their achievements. As news of the incident spread, social media erupted with comments and stories from those who had similar experiences, amplifying calls for accountability. Within hours, statements were released, and both military officials and community leaders expressed their support for the general. Many called for an investigation into the actions of the police officers involved. The tension in the air was palpable. This incident wasn't just about one woman, but highlighted a broader issue needing urgent attention. The conversations sparked that day would continue to resonate long after the event concluded. After the incident, the general knew she could not stay silent. Driven by a strong sense of justice and a desire for change, she made a direct call to the Pentagon to report her experience. During the call, she detailed the event, emphasizing how deeply it affected her not only as an individual, but as a representative of the military and the values it stands for. The general's phone call was met with serious attention. Her experience resonated within the walls of the Pentagon, where officials recognized the gravity of what had occurred. She articulated the need for immediate action, urging them to investigate the police officers' conduct and to implement training focused on racial sensitivity and recognition of authority. Her insistence on accountability was unwavering, believing that change could only come from acknowledging and addressing such biases. As her call gained traction, it sparked discussions among military leaders about policies related to interactions with law enforcement. The urgency of her message reached far beyond just one incident. It presented an opportunity for the military to take a stand against systemic racism while also advocating for its own personnel. Her bravery in sharing her story would prove crucial in pushing for reforms aimed at preventing such humiliating encounters in the future. As the investigation into the incident unfolded, the consequences for the police officers involved became a focal point of public scrutiny. The backlash from the general's reports, combined with the overwhelming support from military officials and community leaders, prompted an internal review of their actions. The police department faced increasing pressure to hold its officers accountable for their misconduct. Within days, disciplinary measures were initiated against the officers who had handcuffed the general, ranging from mandatory retraining on racial sensitivity to possible suspension. As details emerged about their failure to recognize her rank and identity, it became clear that systemic issues needed to be addressed within the department itself. Community advocates and organizations began calling for broader reforms in police practices, particularly regarding how law enforcement interacts with people of color. The incident sparked a wave of discussions at both local and national levels about accountability in policing. As public outrage grew, many viewed this as an opportunity to push for significant changes not only for those involved but also within law enforcement agencies as a whole. The officers faced not just administrative repercussions but also a tarnished reputation, illustrating how one event could ripple through an entire community and challenge established norms in policing. The incident involving the general reverberated far beyond her personal experience, illustrating the broader implications of racial bias within society. It served as a pivotal moment, highlighting the ongoing struggle against systemic racism in law enforcement and military institutions. As conversations about accountability gained momentum, many began to recognize that this was not just an isolated case, but part of a larger pattern of discrimination faced by people of color across various sectors. Community organizations and advocacy groups seized the opportunity to push for comprehensive reforms in policing practices, emphasizing the need for cultural competency training and better communication strategies. The incident also prompted discussions about representation in leadership roles, advocating for more diverse hiring practices within police departments to ensure that officers reflect the communities they serve. Furthermore, the incident sparked a national dialogue about how authority figures are treated based on their race, challenging assumptions and biases that persist in everyday interactions. As more individuals came forward with their own stories of discrimination, it became clear that this moment could catalyze significant change within both law enforcement and military policies. The general's experience laid bare the urgent need for a systemic overhaul, inspiring many to join the fight for justice and equality. In the wake of the incident, community and national reactions poured in from all corners of society. Many local leaders organized rallies, demonstrating solidarity with the general and demanding justice. Social media platforms became a hotbed for discussions, where hashtags related to the incident trended widely. Supporters praised the general for her bravery in speaking out against injustice, while others shared their own experiences of discrimination, creating a powerful sense of unity among those who had faced similar situations. Nationally, news outlets picked up the story, leading to interviews with activists and experts who discussed the pervasive issue of racial bias in police encounters. Commentators emphasized that this incident should serve as a wake-up call. They called for reforms not just within law enforcement, but across various institutions to address systemic racism more broadly. Furthermore, civil rights organizations seized the moment to advocate for legislative changes aimed at enhancing police accountability and ensuring that all individuals are treated fairly, regardless of their background. The general's unjust experience became symbolic of a larger movement for change, inspiring many to engage in conversations about equality and justice that resonated over local communities and across the nation. The incident involving the general has become a crucial touchpoint in the ongoing fight against systemic racism, igniting a call to action that resonates across communities. As discussions surrounding accountability and reform continue, there is hope that this moment will lead to lasting change within law enforcement and other institutions. The widespread reactions, from local rallies to national conversations, underscore the collective commitment to ensuring that discriminatory practices are addressed. Looking ahead, it is essential for both law enforcement agencies and military organizations to implement the reforms proposed by community advocates and civil rights leaders. Training programs focused on cultural competency and implicit bias can pave the way for better interactions between police and marginalized communities. Additionally, diverse hiring practices will help ensure that those in positions of authority better reflect the communities they serve. The general's experience serves as a powerful reminder that change often begins with a single voice. As more individuals come forward to share their stories of injustice, the movement for equality gains momentum. While challenges remain, this pivotal moment has laid the groundwork for a future where all individuals, regardless of their race or background, can expect fair treatment and justice in every interaction with authority.